Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing the next 5 stages of the Fanhome release of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Are we back? We're back.
So this time we're doing stages 7 to 11, and you can see everything's laid out what we've previously worked on up to stages 1 to 6. In today's stages we did get a binder. Now this binder looks like this, and this enables you to keep your magazines in. Let me just show you that, because if this is the first time you've seen one of these binders, it might be a little bit difficult to understand how you put your magazines in. Basically, you've got these clips here. You want to take these clips out, 1, 2, and then when you put your magazine in, you open it up into the center where the staples are, and then quite simply all you're going to do is break off a couple of these little holders here, and you're going to thread them through the first hole. Actually, this will be the 7th hole really. I haven't put the other ones in yet. Just at the end here. So as you see, it comes out the other side there. And then we just do the same on the other side. I'll just count 7 along, so we'll get the other ones in there as well. And it's just as simple as that. And then that holds your magazine in place there, just like that. It is amazing how many people I do get emailing me asking how they work, but hopefully that showed you that. Now if you want to get this for yourself all the way from pack 1 from Fanhome, I've put a link just down here in the video description. Also there's a QR code on the screen. You can get your phone and scan, and it'll take you straight to the Fanhome website. But 7 to 11, without further ado, let's get cracking. So this is stage 7. And by the look of it, we've got all the parts here for the steering rack. So it's the steering rack we're going to be making today, looking just like that. And then once again, if I flick through the magazine, this is everything you can shake a stick at regarding the film Back to the Future. And in the next part, by the look of it, we are doing on some balance levers, apparently. It looks like the anti-roll bar, that's what we're going to be doing. So here we go, here's the parts for stage 7. I'm just going to get all of these out. And the first 2 parts we want are the steering rack, looking just like this. And I've got this linkage, which is going to be going over this section like that. The linkage looks like this, and that's what way I'm putting this on here. It's going to be held in with an FM screw. Now remember, all of these parts in metal, definitely put them in some oil. So I've just dipped the tip of that in oil. Let's get this in. So there you go, that's in. Nice and tight, but this is still able to move, as you can see. We're going to do the same on the other side. And you see it's got some elevation going up. When I put it on, we want that to be sort of going up. And again, FM screw to keep that in place. So both of those linkages are now in place. And then all we've got to do is just put these bushes on the end here. So they just push through and go over these ends here. So one this side and one this side. So it looks like that, and with this part, which we're not actually using, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 8, here's the magazine. I said we get the anti-roll bar here. So we're actually going to be using the stage that we had previously here, and we're going to be adding some details on top of that. So by the end, it's looking just like this here. And again, if I just show you the rest of the magazine here, everything again you could shake a stick at for Back to the Future. And it looks like in the next stage we're going to be doing another one of the wheels. So this is stage 8 here. We aren't using this bit here. Look, we've got this piece here. As a matter of fact, they look very similar, don't they? But this is the piece that we're going to be using in this one. This is the anti-roll bar here. So first thing we're going to do is we've got these mounts to put on. Now these are stamped. This one's stamped with an L, which is the left side one, which is just going to go on here like that. It's going to be held in from the other side with some AP screws. And we need 2 of these just going into this point here. So one there. And one here. And then you've guessed it, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the other side. So this one's just going to go in here. Once again held in with AP screws. Now there's a lot of things that we're putting together in this stage that we're not actually going to do anything with, because that is the end of that stage. So we've got to keep the anti-roll bar and this section free as well, bearing in mind we've still got this part from the last stage as well. Now in stage 9 there is a mistake in the magazine. If I turn over and show you what we've got here, it's showing us all the parts for stage 1. We've already done that, so just ignore that. We are going to be doing a wheel, as you can see here. So just like we did last time, we're going to piece the wheel together so it looks just like this. And here is the rest of the magazine. Looking good. Okay, and in the next stage, look at this massive chassis frame that we've got. You're going to love that when you see it. So this is everything that we get in stage 9. We've done one of these tyres before. It's just a case of putting the hub in one side here, like that. Turning it over and lining up this side here with the holes on the other side. Get that all the way in. That's perfect there, all lined up, and then we're just going to hold that together with these BP screws. Now for this, I am going to use my bigger screwdriver, which is a PH1 screwdriver. You are going into plastic, remember though, so you don't need to put this too tight, just tight enough to hold that hub into place. That's the second one, and this is the third one just going in here. Now, just like when we did the other tyre, we've got a washer and a hub to put in, which I am just going to put the washer in there to keep it safe, and I'm going to push the hubcap into the centre here. Now when it comes to actually putting this on the car, I did say I am going to put these on as the very last thing on the DeLorean once we've finished. The reason that I can put this in here now is because I can easily get it out by taking a screwdriver and just poking it from behind. When that's in on the car, I can't do that, and I'm not going to be able to get that hubcap out, which is why I leave that on till last. But that is all there is to do in that stage. So, stage 10, this is a big stage. As you see, we've got the chassis in this one, lots of screws as well, and I'm guessing we're going to start putting a lot of things together here. So we have got the suspensions that we were working on in the last pack. I've got them here. They're going to go on the car, as you can see here. We've got the steering rack. That's going to go onto the car. We're going to be mounting the bottom plate in as well. Everything is going together, and we're putting the 2 wheels on that we've already created, so it's looking like that. In one stage, you can see how big this has grown. And once again, if I just flick through the rest of the magazine here, you can see exactly what is in this stage. And in the next stage, we've got some engine supports to go in. So this is what the chassis looks like. When I open it up, you can see they provided another screwdriver for us in here, which looks just like that. This looks to be a bit more grip than the last one we had. I am still going to use my own ones for this. We've got lots of screws. Get them out. And this is the chassis here. And check that out. It's a massive bit of metal. If I put it against me, you can see how big this actually is. The first thing we want is the left part of the suspension. The caliper here will be on this side when it's at the back, but if you're unsure, if you turn it over, it's got a stamp at the bottom to show you there's an L there. This is the left side. Now this is going to be going on here, on this side here, but it does go in from the underside. So when I put this in, it's going to be fitting over the lugs that we've got there. Now that's held in with BM screws. Once again, I've put that in some oil. Let's get these in. I'm just putting them in very light at the moment just to hold them in, and then I will get these as tight as I possibly can. Now they seem to be going in okay, so you should be able to do this in one go. One there, and one there. And once that's on, we're going to do exactly the same thing with the right suspension, which is just going to go on this side here, and one in here. I'm trying not to push down any pressure on these suspensions. That's why I'm holding it from underneath here. Just make sure that's on tight. We can turn this over now. And then the part we have from stage 7, which looks like this. This is the one that we didn't put the mounts on. So this is the one we want. That's just going to be going onto the front end of the car here. Now, if you have a look, we have got some screw holes here for this to go in. It's going to go on that way, just like that. And it's held in with AM screws. So I've got the first one in there, just hold that into place. And I'll get the other 2 in either side here. Now I want to take the steering rack that we worked on last time, and this is basically going to go underneath here. So both of these linkages, oops, let's get it in place, are coming up through these square holes here, like this. Now when these are through, these are actually going to go on the linkages just at the end here. So you've got one going in this side, and this one here is going into that side here. Not these ones, it's the ones at the very end here. Now I've got a GM screw, which is a flange screw here, which I'm going to put down the top, and that's going to hold these in. So one this side. Excellent. And one just on the other side here, and that's put that steering rack into place. Now these parts of the steering rack are going underneath this point on the wheel here. So this one's going to go this side, and the other one here is going to go this side, just like that. They're held in with DM screws from the underside. So being very gentle, I'm turning this over, and I'll get the first DM screw in here. Make sure it's tight, but whatever you do, don't put force down on this. Don't push down, because you don't want to break that piece off. Do the same on the other side. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is just hold it from the underside here while I get this in, so I haven't got any force going into that part there. Excellent. All we're going to do then is take the plate that we did in stage 8 with the mounts on. This is going to go on this way, just like that. Turn this back over, and we're going to be putting that in with 4 screws. These are DM screws just going into these positions here. So that's one. That's going to hold everything in. Then I'll just put the other 3 in the other holes. So there we go. That's it. And once again, just check that that's able to operate freely like that. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do, just an addition, because this is going to get a lot of movement here, I'm just going to put some oil just around the joint here and here. Just work that in a little bit. Perfect. So that's nice and loose and easy to turn. Turn this upside down again, and now we're going to be putting the anti-roll bar on. That looks like this. This is just going to be going into the points just on the mounts that we put in here and here. So it's going to go on just like that. The other side of these are going to go into the hole that we've got either side of the suspension there. Can you see the hole in there? So it's going to go in like that. Perfect. It's going to be held in with AP screws. So I'm just going to put one in that side and one in this side just to line it up. Perfect. And then I'll just do the front 2 as well. That's the anti-roll bar in place. Now we're at to the stage where we can put the wheels on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that hubcap off. And now the hubcaps you're not going to see until the end of the build. I'm going to keep them safe. I'm going to need one of these GM flange screws. Put the wheel on first. Just hold it this way round. Drop the washer into the top. Put this screw in a bit of oil and screw this down. Now you want to make sure that these wheels are on tight, so there's no wobble in them. So I'm using my big screwdriver for that. And there we go. I'm pretty happy with how that is. So that's the first wheel on, and it is able to drop down into the flight mode. And then the magnet keeps it back in place. The magnet should be strong enough to hold it in place like that. But as I said, they are telling you to put the hubcap in. I wouldn't do that now because later on in the build we are going to have to take that off. Do exactly the same on the other side. So once again, these are free to turn, as you can see. They should be able to come down into flight mode, and then the magnet will click that back into place. No problems at all. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage of this pack, stage 11, as you can see here, we've got the mounts for the engine. So we're going to be building this mount for the engine and putting this on the chassis just like that. And again, this is the rest of the magazine. Let's do this. And this is everything we've got for the engine mounts. So the first thing we want is this engine support. So I'll just put that there. We've got a couple of clips to put on this. Now these clips do have little lugs coming out of them. So the first one's going to go on this side here. The second one's going to go on this side here with the little lug that's pointing up, pointing out on this section just here. Hopefully, if I give you a close-up, it should look like that. Held in with DM screws. And we want to get these in nice and tight. So again, that's one, and just one on the other side. Now we've got these supports, which are slightly bent in the middle, going to be going underneath this section here. Now they go this way round, so the tab is facing down, under here like this, and they're going to be held in through the side here with a HM screw. Very big screw, this one. So I'm going to put this one into place, line it up, and hopefully I can get it through both parts first time. Let's see if we're that lucky. I'm never that lucky. You know what? This time I am. Look, I managed to get that in. So get that HM screw all the way through. Wow, that never happens to me. Nice and tight, so it's out the other side. So there we go. That's into position. So just doing the same on the other side. Remember, we want this to be facing down, so the bend's this way. It's just going to go in like that. Once again, held in with a HM screw, just through this hole. Let's see if I can get lucky twice. That's looking good. Have we got that in? I think we have. Let me screw this in and we'll check. Oh my God, I never get that lucky. Check that out. That's gone straight in. That never happens. There we go. And that's those into position just like this. So all that's left to do is to put the engine supports on. This is the left one here. That's just going to go on this side. This is the right one. That's just going to go on, oops, other way around this side here. Just over the two holes that we can see here. They're held in once again with DM screws. So that's one side in. As you can see, I am using oil on all of these metal parts. Turn this round and I'll just put the other side in as well. All we've got to do then is put these covers on. Now the covers are just going on this side here. Make sure that they clip into place. Oops, this one's going on the other side. The shape gives it away which way they go in. Clip it in, and then once again DM screw to hold that into place. That's in like that. Just do the same on the other side. Bringing over the chassis now. We just want to turn this over this way round because we're now going to be putting this into position. Now, as you see, we do have the locating lugs on each side. They're just going to go into the locating holes just here. So I'm going to get this in. So it sits in nice and flush, just like that. We just want to ensure that these that we put in here are towards this part of the car, not to the back here. Okay, let's screw this in. It's DM screws again, but this time I'm going to hold it in place with my hand because it's going in from this side here. So, 2 DM screws in this one here. If I just put one in actually, that should hold that side in. And just do the same on the other side. And once I'm happy they're being held in, I will then screw in the other 2 screws. And there you go. That is all there is to do in this stage. That's all there is to do in this pack. Now remember, I've actually built this before. And what we just did there is probably the most important thing of the whole build. Let me explain what happened to my other one. The other one, the DM screws that we put in for the steering rack, to attach the steering rack to the wheels, the screw actually, I didn't put it in all the way and I couldn't get it in afterwards. But as you can see, I've ensured that's happened now. I've also ensured that the magnets are still connected to the wheels so that they can drop down and come back up again. No problems at all. But really make sure that your screws are connected to all the parts because you're not going to get a chance to change this later on. But that's enough of me preaching you how to make the perfect DeLorean. But that's why I'm doing this series again. So I know some of the issues that we may have and to make sure that you overcome them by doing the things I said here. The other thing is get yourself some masking tape and these hubcaps here. Stick them to the masking tape and then just keep them with all of your parts because you don't want to put them on now. Trust me, in stage 60 or 70, you've got to take them off again. You can't do that. They do provide spares from what I remember, but it's better just to leave them off and then have the spares just in case you need them further down the road. Anyway, if you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link down here to the Fanhome website. You can get it all the way from pack 1, but I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.